Hello there, welcome back to the Ogre, the old Git Reacts, Reviews, Off Times, Reminisces. One of my favourite listens at the moment, or parts of, what should I say, genre listens, are this sort of lo-fi-ish, atmospheric black metal, which this artist here perfectly encapsulates in their music. And rather than try and explain what I mean by that, I'll just listen to a track from this album, which should leave you fully sated in the knowledge of what it is I'm trying to say. One. So, for starters, or to start with, clearly a very melancholic introduction, quite dour and downbeat, and it doesn't particularly set you up for what may come later. Some music, when you hear it, particularly if you know the artist, you know where it's going to develop into, and even if you don't know the artist, prior experience would suggest it's going to go a certain way. The thing I liked about this album when I first heard it was I wasn't too sure where it was going to go, so when it ended up delighting me, such that I bought it, then I was a clear winner. My cup runneth over when I heard the whole thing in its entirety. Now, it is a while since I've listened to this. I've missed out on the opportunity to listen to a lot of music of late, so I'm reacquainting myself with recent purchases at the moment, but I do know I did like this album, so with high confidence I think I'll enjoy this track, because I know I enjoyed the whole album. So obviously not I appear to be so, but I am cocky hoop that this kicked up several gears just then. It is, and it's employing a technique which I think is one of the most effective with this sort of music, is fast percussion with fizzing, droning guitars with a sort of proportionally opposite slowness to the, presumably it's a keyboard, but I suppose the what's it trying to emulate, a xylophone glockenspiel type effect. The counterpoint of slow and fast usually, and certainly in this case, works very well. And I just struck what it was about the droniness for the guitars, or whatever it may be, the instrumentation on here, that so there's something familiar-ish about it. And so I've not listened to this for a while, but recently I revisited some Ashtwad albums I've got, and it's a very similar melancholic, dour tone to the drone on that artist's albums. Not the same as this, but reminiscent of, and it does do something for me. What it does do is it takes me into another worldly place. You are beyond the veil, listening to music of this sort. So a lot of atmospheric black metal. The atmosphere is misty, almost lacy, and sometimes a bit fragile and delicate. Here, no, this is thick. This is thick atmosphere. It's foggy. It's fog you could probably walk on. Nicely dense, shall we say. Another thing that there's elements in this that are quite. I haven't said what I just said. The whole sound as a whole is dense and thick, but there are delicate aspects to it. At the same time, there's a bit further back, violin-y sound, and here again the glockenspiel plink, and there's something reminiscent about that as well, which I couldn't quite place. And then I noticed that one of the artists involved in this is the same artist, was it Vida, where again there's quite a lot of fragility in their sound. Now this isn't fragile by any sense of the imagination at the moment, but there are those delicacies in amongst it. Not a lot, but still enough to notice and appreciate. So I haven't mentioned the vocals, have I? No, I haven't. The vocals here are quite fitting with the rest of the instrumentation, insofar as they are an accompaniment to them. They're not over the top of them, and the Wraith-like tone always fits well in with such atmospheric black metal, in my view. But again, they also use that. Repeat the technique I mentioned earlier of having slowly growled, if you will, vocals over fast music, and they slow down a bit now, but by and large when the vocals are being performed they're over fairly rapid music, and they do again give that counterpoint, which the contrast works very well. Another thing that came to mind just now was that some of the melody on here reminds me of post-battle scenes when they survey either in a film and it's just theatre, or whether it's a documentary and it's for real, when cameras pan over scorched earth and broken trees and down buildings and corpses. Very often the music that accompanies those sort of scenes is reminiscent of the tone and melody we hear here. I doubt it's intentionally that way, but it certainly does evoke those sort of scenes to me, or similar. The music is similar to the music or the melodies used, orchestration, whatever you want to call it, over such sad scenes. So there you go, somberness driven in sixth gear. It's an album I very often, not that often because I haven't heard it enough times, but that before my music listening dropped off for a week or two, I was listening to this before I went to bed, which sent me to bed. It is, the tone of it is such that it does sort of lull you into a bit of a reverie and take you far away, and so really I should listen to this if I wanted to pay particular attention to it earlier in the day, but it is perfect. I like to drift off to music when I go to bed, and this is perfect for it. And it's not just because it's that trance-like hypnotic tone and highly repetitive, because I can drift off to a band like Revenge fairly easily, or Absolute Chaos like Sutek X, but this puts me there quicker maybe. That's not to say it's boring and uneventful. It's because it does relax me and puts me, just the muscles just relax, and applies to the eyelids as much as anything else. But anyway, superbly evocative and atmospheric, and just the job. Anyway, on that note, clicky bollocks, catch you next time, cheerio.